Hello, 7 Space Adventurers! It's time for episode 9 of Hidden Features of EVE Online, here at the Nth Dimension. We are about to unveil some unseen tactics that can transform your gameplay. These are the tips and tricks that you never knew you needed, and they're guaranteed to enhance your EVE Online adventures. So stay tuned and get ready to elevate your game. Are you tired of getting your ship blown up when you go to do your planetary production, all because you have to be out in space to access your planets? Well, no more. With the great technology of the Upwell Consortium, we are able to view the station from the outside, and by doing such, we can even access our planets and produce to our heart's content, including launching and sending resources to and from your planets. Super handy, if you ask me. Do be aware, though, that this View Outside button is only available in player-owned stations, so if you are in an NPC station and doing PP, then I guess you're just shit out of luck. But that's a good incentive to go out, join a corp, and do all that fun stuff too. Number 2. Have you reached the limit on how many fits you can create in EVE, but you also hate saving your fits in Python? Well, fear not, because you can use another organization tool that's in-game, and that is the Notepad. So, if we go to the game, we can go ahead and go up to our Neocom menu, go to Utilities, then go to Notepad. And you can make a nice little folder here. We have a little PvP fit folder and a bunch of notes in it. And in these notes, you can have various fits, and you can sort them by like maybe some ESS cruisers. That's what we got. We have some PvP fits if we're flying around with like Mr. Unlucky, Arc Gravy, Ashy, etc. And we have maybe some T1 M0 Frig Proving Grounds. This is a little bit old, but here it is. If you want to kind of organize some fits that are maybe specific, maybe you want a nice little selection, the Notepad is actually a pretty nice place to do it. Number 3.
I remember in the olden days when you could only have one overview and everything was bad.
But now, I live in the future, and so can you. A while ago, they added the ability to have multiple overviews, but if you don't know how to do it, then much like everything else in EVE, the game won't tell you. So that's why you got me. I'm here, I'll tell you how. Let's go ahead and jump into the game. It's really quite simple. So if you go over to your overviews, if you just try and left click and drag them out like you would a normal tab in your everyday life, that won't work. However, if you right click on it, then there's this fancy new option that says Move Tab to, and you can choose one of your other multiple overview windows. I have a number of them, but if you don't have any other multiple windows, then just the new window option will be there. You go ahead and click that, and lo and behold, here we have a whole nother overview to customize to our heart's content. Easy peasy, and will revolutionize your gameplay. Number 4. I'm pretty sure that the game never even hints at this, but boy howdy does this menu really help out a ton from time to time. There is a hidden menu that when you click on your routing preference, this A up here in the corner, you get a secret menu. And this secret menu can do a lot of really cool things. So first off, we are preferring shorter. This is going to be the least amount of jumps from each of our waypoints. However, you also have safer, which will try and keep you in high sec, or less secure if you are maybe a seedy pirate, which will try and keep you in null and low. But as you can see up here, our current is 75 jumps on shorter. If we go to safer, it's 124. So you might need to make a few more jumps if you're trying to stay in high sec, but if you got precious cargo and don't want to go to low, this is your ticket for safety. There are also a number of good items here, which you can include jump gates in your route if you're a null secker and have access to jump gates. You can avoid systems where pod killing has recently occurred. If you're just trying to avoid those ganks, might be super helpful there. There's the avoid, trig, and eating comm systems. However, you really shouldn't need to check these because you should have slightly positive standings with each of these. If you don't, make sure you go ahead and watch this video up here to learn how to do that. And you can also avoid systems on your avoidance list. Say you never want to go to Azkaban, also known as Abazan, You right click that system, set it on your avoidance list, check this box, and your autopiloting route is not going to go there. So that's going to be pretty nice for you. Here is something really, really good. So here you can see our route is 124 systems long. And that is because we want to go to each of these locations highlighted in yellow to pick up a bunch of our assets and kind of consolidate them, right? Good plan, good plan. But what we can do is click this optimize route button. And when we do, instead of 124 jumps here, it is going to change to 89 jumps. So that's going to use a formula that EVE Online has in its system to try and to figure out what jumps you want to take to make it to it is the least possible jumps. That said, there is some limits to this. You don't want to really go above like 12 waypoints because EVE has this formula that is, in my opinion, probably pretty old, doesn't work super well. There are better techniques these days. But if you do go over 12, it will try and calculate all those. It might freeze your computer, it might freeze your game for an undisclosed amount of time. It will still probably work if you give it enough time, but it might make things a little wonky, and you probably just want to avoid that, right? So do be a little bit aware of that. Number 5. So no shit, there I was, dick deep in the overview menus while I was making my lovely new everything. Video about that coming soon, TM. And finding it very tedious to select or deselect everything that I needed. But then I had an epiphany. When in doubt, just start clicking in different ways on pretty much anything in EVE, and you will get some kind of hidden functionality. And lo and behold, I was right. So if we go into the game here, we'll show you. If you go to your overview settings, just click on the 3 dots and then open overview settings. If you're trying to decide what kind of things you want to show on each of your filters, you go into the filters and then the type shown. That's what I was working on. And then I right clicked, not on the item itself, because that will just select it. But if you right click on the actual header, so here for charges, you can have the option of selecting or deselecting all. Wonderful, am I right? So if you are doing a lot of overview setting work, this will really help you out because boy howdy is it tedious. So hopefully that helps you in the future. And if you don't want to mess around with fussy overview settings, which totally I understand, I've made a video for you here about how you can get my layout and overview settings easy peasy. So thank you so much for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.